Hi everyone, it's Nicole here today, and I have another card share featuring the Simon Says Stamp STAMPtember exclusive limited edition stamp set and dies called Super Duo. This was created by Mama Elephant for Simon Says Stamp and specifically for their STAMPtember event. So this is an extremely limited edition release. When it's gone, it's gone. I shared a card or a couple of cards the other day or earlier this week showcasing these stamps as well. And I wanted to show coloring the cute little boy and girl superheroes completely different today. I thought it would be really fun to color them to look more like Batman and Batgirl or Batboy, I guess. And I'm creating this by using shades of gray Copic markers and then slowly building from a light gray to a darker gray to give that illusion of black outfits. Black is a little bit tricky to color simply because you don't want to start with your darkest, deepest black, or it will completely cover up all of the detail of your stamped image and you really won't be left with anything interesting to look at. So the best way to achieve that look is to build up your grays, starting with kind of a maybe mid-tone gray with whatever grays you want to use, and then shading it in until you get a little bit darker and a little bit darker, and it gives when your eye looks at it, it looks like gray, or black rather, even though it was built with grays. I just feathered in the little boy's hair here. I used about 3 colors for my base color of his hair, going from lightest to darkest, feathering it in, and then I went back in with an additional color to add a few shadows and highlights and things. All of the colors I've used for my Copic markers for both the boy and the girl here are listed and linked here below the video on YouTube, as well as linked in the supplies listing on my blog post that accompanies this video. So I'm going to do the exact same thing, kind of a tongue twister, for the girl here. And I'll simply work and work with it until I get the exact coloring that I want for both images. And then I'll be ready to die cut both of these and die cut the rest of the elements to put together my card. Now I did pair the boy and girl super duo here with quite a few other Mama Elephant supplies, mostly their dies and things. I thought it would be really fun to showcase how great all of these work together. Even though this set was designed for Simon Says Stamp, it very much has the Mama Elephant look and feel to the design of the stamp set. So don't be afraid to pair it with your other Mama Elephant supplies and dies and things to create one-of-a-kind, really fun, cute superhero scenes. Now I did do a few different things to the girl than I did to the boy, namely adding some yellow gloves and yellow boots. I thought those would be a fun addition. Make her just a little bit more girly. Again, I'm coloring her hair with the exact same colors I used for the boy. I thought I'd keep it easy here. Maybe it's a brother and sister super duo. That E74 is the highlight. It just kind of adds some deeper tones. I definitely did not go over the whole thing with the feathering like I did with my 3 base colors for the hair. Instead, I just added it here and there. Went over it a little bit again. Okay, once I have those all colored, I'm going to cut my base of my card using the largest stitched rectangle Pica frame. This is a new die collection from Mama Elephant. It will be released September 15th, so as of this video, it isn't released yet. So don't be mad and wondering when that's coming. I shared a card created with these dies earlier this week, and it was kind of a first look for Mama Elephant. They shared that on their blog. So it will be coming, and I will be updating links as the die collection becomes available. I am also die cutting, well, once I die cut the stitched rectangle, I took the Mama Elephant Starburst die and die cut the star background from that. I'm just going to have to pop all of those out because they tend to not come right out, even though they are die cut all the way through. So I'm just poking those through. This is going to give me a really fun starry sky. I've die cut quite a few of the cityscape backdrops here for my card using the Simon Says Stamp Fog, Smoke, and Slate ink. Not inks, I'm sorry, cardstock. They do come in ink as well. And I die cut the street from black cardstock using the die that comes with the cityscape. And I've trimmed just a thin piece of Sunshine Simon Says Stamp cardstock to place behind that street so that the little die cut area in the street, some yellow will show through. I'm just going to make sure that's nice and secure, and I'll trim that to the 4 1/4 inch to fit that stitched rectangle background. I love that this stitched rectangle background from Pika Frames is sized exactly to fit the front of an A2 card. Before I attach anything down, I am going to stamp some of these kind of superhero thought bubble type shapes. I'm not exactly sure what to call them. That's what I called them the other day, so I guess we'll stick with that. And the little arrow, or lightning bolt, rather. And then the little round shield that has the heart in the center, I'll stamp that as well using the slate gray Simon Says Stamp ink. And I'm just going to stamp several of the elements from Super Duo and die cut those out to use on my card. Instead of having one of the thought bubbles, I'm doing a couple of them as well as some of the smaller elements and pieces because I wanted the little thought bubbles and things to look like they're kind of exploding out of the cityscape, if that makes sense. I saw something for some superheroes, I think on Pinterest, and I saw an idea sort of like that, and I thought it would be fun to replicate it. I'm going to die cut all of these pieces then with the coordinating dies before I add my greetings. And I'm doing that simply because I kind of want to see what I like first before I add the greeting and decide exactly what I want to use for that greeting. Once I have all of those pieces die cut, I am masking off part of the super hugs using some Post-it tape. That way I only ink up the part that says hugs. So on one of the thought bubbles, it will say hugs just for you. I'm going to take that small phrase then and stamp that right below the hugs. Then I have another thought bubble. This one's stamped in a little bit lighter ink, also in yellow, but just for some nice variation, I did it in a little bit lighter. And I'm going to clean my stamp really good. Then I'm going to mask off hugs and stamp the word super on this one. So just a fun way to make your greeting a little bit more versatile to fit the space that you have. Once I have all of my elements, I'm ready to start putting it together, and I'm going to speed through this pretty good. I am adding adhesive just on the bottom of the cityscape, and I'm not lining them up exactly because I felt like you got a little bit more interest and definition by not lining them up exactly. I have one layer of the slate gray, 2 layers of the smoke cityscape, and 3 of the fog cityscape. By just placing the adhesive on the bottom, it allows for me to tuck all those additional ones underneath. Then I trimmed off any excess from both of the sides. Now I'm using my acrylic blocks to hold everything in place. I find that while the glue dries, if the paper curls a little bit or whatever, the acrylic blocks are just heavy enough that they hold everything down and in place. Last, I just am ready to adhere my thought bubbles and all of those extra little pieces that really bring the whole design together. Just like my cards that I shared the other day, I'm using the glossy accents over the large greeting to add some definition to those large words, and also to the star there in the little shield. I've placed a piece of glitter paper on the back to show throughs for the starry night sky. I hope you've enjoyed this video showcasing the Super Duo stamps and dies by Simon Says Stamp for their STAMPtember event 2014. The supplies I've used are listed and linked below the video on YouTube. Thanks for watching.